Just give it a moment while people settle in, grab their coffee. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Let's see who shows up today for our Mob TV Coffee Clutch. Hello. I see people have joined us. Good morning. Hello, Linda. How are you? Who's that? Tina? It looks like Tina. Hello, Diane. Welcome. Hello, Yasmin. Good morning. How are you? Hello, hello. Welcome. Good morning. My day started 4:30, so I've been up for a little bit. So I want to say good morning, but it already feels like afternoon for me. But I hope you're all doing well. Somebody says hello to Dolly. Hello, Dolly.
Hi, Tina Rose.
Did you hear that? That wasn't me. I wasn't doing a ventriloquist. I wasn't going, hi, Tina Rose. See that? Not me. All right, so let's get our official greeter in. Where's our official greeter? Oh, there she goes.
Hi.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
You can wave or something. Okay. Say hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Okay. That was Z with our Mob TV greeting. Yeah, she needs to, at some point she could start doing parts of the show. Yeah? Okay, we'll see. Good morning, Heather. Hello. Welcome. You brought notes. That's good, Heather. What notes did you bring? It's a quiet morning today. It's a little chilly. Let's see what the weather feels. I went out to train this morning. It's only 45 degrees Fahrenheit here, but I felt when I woke up this morning. Hello, Wendy. Welcome. When I woke up this morning to go train, wow, it was tough this morning. The bed was like extra comfy, and it was a challenge. So, hello, Audrey. Welcome. Thank you for your questions. For those of you that have questions, Audrey, of course, the question queen, and I believe Scarlett also has questions. So thank you for the questions that we'll be answering later today. Yeah, Tina, it does sound scary. Oh, okay, there you go. Romeo and Juliet, for sure. You can always do a modern day take on Shakespeare. I mean, it's been done before, obviously, but you can definitely do modern day Capulet type situation, for sure. Yeah. And bring Romeo and Juliet. I know it's been done, Romeo and Juliet. Is bringing Romeo and Juliet to the modern day. So, that's funny. Wendy says Louis Armstrong is now playing and singing Hello, Dolly in my head. There you go. Hello, Dolly. I remember his voice, yeah. All right, so let's start the greetings, because there's a bunch of us here now, and I don't want to take too long in the announcements. Let's see. So I want to give a shout outs to the tribe, to my family, and of course the Mob family, of course, and to my tribe and to the older tribe who are in different places right now. Big O is in Manhattan. My sister Lisa's in Virginia, and Ashley's probably at work, and Joshua's headed to the gym. And then the younger tribe, two of them in school. The older Valkyrie's in school. The older warrior is in hybrid class right now, so he can't watch. And the youngest one, the tiniest one, is the one that greets. So, hello. Hello to the whole tribe. And to Dolly, of course, but she's always by my side. So, I don't know what's happening on YouTube. I know Chris told me that it may be a little spotty on YouTube today. So, but if you're on YouTube, hello and welcome. And just saying hi to all of you out there in the world. Good morning from New York City. If you know about the YouTube channel, which you should by now, make sure you like, subscribe, and share our channel if you're in the mob, so we can get a nice robust number there. Have a lot of people following us on YouTube. Also, we're also on Instagram. I've been trying to add something every day to Instagram. I think the only day I missed this week was yesterday, but I'll add 2 things today. But I've been trying to add something every day to our Instagram page, which is Bitten Peaches, at Bitten Peaches. So follow us there, and welcome. Read the quotes, comment on the quotes. Yeah, she always has my back, always. Tina said Dolly Sanchez seems to have your back, always. She always has my back. Always, you. So follow us on Instagram, and just look us up at Bitten Peaches. We're there. Also, the ZAZZLE store. I gotta get some stuff from the ZAZZLE store. I've been getting these shirts. This is a great shirt. This shirt came from, how on Wednesdays we have new Old World Wednesdays? This shirt comes from that page, the Grandiloquent Word of the Day. But I think I'm gonna start getting some more Monty and Strong shirts, so I can start showcasing the shirts from our ZAZZLE store. Many of those shirts were designed by our lead designer, D.S. Sanchez. So, D. Sanchez, she goes by her design name. You might know her. So many, if not all of the shirts there were designed by D. Sanchez. Let's see who's else. Hello, Tanya. Good morning, Daniel. So ZAZZLE, follow us on ZAZZLE. Dolly will put the link up at some point in the feed on the page, and you guys can go there and get stuff for sure. See if I can find it. I can't find it. Oh, there we go. So yeah, go to our ZAZZLE page and get some swag. Be awesome. So part of our new thing is to thank our new Patreon patrons. So our new patron this week is Chris Mendoza, the Technomancer, who makes our YouTube experience an awesome thing.
Thank you, Chris.
So we thank you, Chris, and thank you for being a patron. And to all our patrons, thank you. You guys are awesome. Let's see what else we have. The newsletter. So I've been trying to do some different things with the newsletter. So I'm trying to do it twice a week. I don't want to be too spammy, but one week will be about up and coming things, projects that I'm working on, and another week will be kind of related to life. So I tried that this month in January, where first week was books that are coming up, and then the second newsletter of the month was more how did I cope with stress while we were in quarantine or while we were in lockdown. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get more regular or a little bit more consistent with the newsletter. So please sign up. And I'm also open to ideas. If you guys want to, give me ideas for the newsletter, I'm more than willing to put them up there. Like I might do chapters, character insights, things like that. Yes, I'm going to stop with the hand wavium because I'm watching my hands, Chris. I see it before you say anything. I see it. This is why I grabbed the cup. So, so the hand wavium will stop. Don't forget to follow us on BookBub. We're on BookBub under Orlando Sanchez. Look me up. You can find us there. And we're also on Binge Books. So you can join, add some reviews. I don't think we have all the books on Binge Books, right? We only have a few books on Binge Books.
We have most of them.
We have most of the books on Binge Books. So go follow us on Binge Books.
We need reviews.
And we need reviews on Binge Books. So please add some reviews. And speaking of reviews, don't forget to leave your reviews for Walking the Razor and They Bite if you haven't already. So yeah, it's the mage in me, Chris, the hand wavium. So that's why I grab a cup, and it limits the hand waving. Okay, let's get to the book updates quick. Walking the Razor is being written. It's in the midst. It's like in that. It's still kind of in the beginning, but it's entering that phase where things are going to start ramping up. So that's what not Walking the Razor. Is it Walking the Razor? Not Walking the Razor. I apologize. Requiem. I'm thinking Walking the Razor because it's very connected to what happened in Walking the Razor. Requiem is in the beginning phase. Is about to ramp up into. I can't say it without spoiling stuff. But let's just say Monty and Simon are getting out of Haven. That in itself is kind of an adventure. So without Roxanne losing it. So yeah, not Walking the Razor. Walking the Razor is done. But Don't forget to leave your reviews for Walking the Razor and They Bite. That's what I meant to say. Nameless, Requiem, and They Rend. All three are in different stages of project readiness. So Nameless is progressing. It feels a little slow, but it's ramping up. I think it needed to feel a little slow so that we can catch up to what was happening from Nightmare all the way to where we are now, which is Nameless. And then it's starting to pick up. Requiem, like I was saying, is at that point where once they get out of Haven, if they manage to do so unscathed, then it starts ramping up with the actual core story. And They Rend, Nixia is about to go find Acheron and the people who took him and visit pain upon them. So, yeah. Malcolm says, we haven't had a Nameless snippet this week. You're right, you haven't. You might today. We'll see. Tina says, does Roxanne have a plan for that yet? Roxanne has locked down Haven to such an extent that getting out is going to be very hard, Tina. So we'll see. All right, so what are we up to in the audiobooks, Dolly? Hell Hath No Fury's out, right? Reaping Wind is out. So the Golem is next to go out. The Golem is on soon alert. Soon /TM. Soon, little TM in the corner. So the Golem is next. We already got the approval for it, right? And I just got the approval for Dark Glass yesterday. I was listening to it this morning. So that's going to be very soon after that. After that, Kevin will work on... Wow, he's going to work on Walking the Razor. And then he's going to do the short stories. So wow, he's catching up to the books fast. So that's great, because that means we'll have a lot of audiobooks out there in the world. And I've gone through all the announcements in a good 15 minutes. Yay. So that's good. Excellent. So let me say hello to everyone who has just come in. And I missed Robert and whoever else came in before Robert. Who else came in? Malcolm. I didn't say hello. Welcome, Malcolm. So let's see. Heather has got the audio for No God Is Safe and 2 Mirrors and Butterflies. Yay, that's excellent. Actually, the audio for No God Is Safe is done by John Logsdon. In case you didn't know that. Maybe I should make that like a trivia question in the future. Who does the audio for No God Is Safe? John Logsdon and another gentleman who does the English, the voice of Monty. But John Logsdon does the audio for I believe Simon. In No God Is Safe. So that's excellent. So how are you guys doing today? We have a nice group here today now, and Mob TV is always a fun experience, and we're just hanging out. This is episode 40, by the way. I guess I should say that at the beginning. Mob TV Coffee Clutch, episode 40. Yes. I've been meaning to do... I just wanted to look at you, that's all. I've been meaning to do more of the 5 minutes of Zen, I guess I call them. But I also want to kind of leave room for them being spontaneous. So, let me make sure the feed is moving. Okay, good. And so I don't really want to schedule them. I just want to kind of let them happen organically. But I guess I'll take your opinions on that. Maybe I could do them more often and still make them spontaneous. But they usually want to happen when I just leave the gym, or if I'm in the middle of a walk at some crazy hour in the morning, and I have to kind of be aware because I'm walking around the street. If I'm walking around the street and I'm recording a video, I'm not as focused as I need to be on what's around me. So, and it's not like I can run around. I'm carrying a weight vest when I walk, so it's not like I can make a quick getaway if I have to. So I want to be focused. Yeah, I think so, Chris. I think they should just happen when they happen. I don't want to kind of fit them into a schedule, you know? Yes, Malcolm, we've been here 40 times already. It doesn't feel like we're 40 times means how many months?
Like 10.
10 months?
It's 52 weeks in a year.
Yeah, so something like, wow, it's almost been... someone can figure that one out, or else we'll get Ray to do it. Ray's a math whiz. So, Ray's the oldest warrior, who also made a debut in, I want to say, Walking the Razor.
Yes.
This is what happens when you have so many books in your head. you just start saying things and you have to kind of corroborate and look up and make sure it was in that book. This is what happens. We've been doing this, according to Chris Mendoza, since September 2019, which is fantastic. Wow. Time does fly. Welcome, Laura. You're not late. Whenever you get here, you're on time. That's awesome. We started 11:30, but I also understand 11:30 is semi-convenient for me, and we used to do it at 11, but it's 11:30 now, and we'll try to make it work for everyone. That's all. And you get here, you get here. Yes, Malcolm. My readers are no joke when it comes to making sure. I think it was early on I think it was either Full Moon Howl or Blood is Thicker, that I had Monty eating at Ezra's, but he was eating meat. And I had established early on, I think, I'm pretty sure in 2 Million Butterflies, that he doesn't eat meat. And all the readers were like, why is Monty eating part of a pastrami sandwich or something like that? And I immediately was like, whoa, that's right, you're totally correct. So they will readers will definitely keep me straight. Just like the ultimate cliffhanger, and it was 2 parts. Blood is Thicker ended on a real cliffhanger, which was really bad. It was like one of the ghosts was throwing an orb at the goat, and then it hit the goat, and that's where the book ended. And everyone lost their collective minds, because there's no way you can end a book like that and then have people wait until the end, until the next book. That was the first time all the readers in the mob were like, no, sorry, you cannot do this. This will just upset people. That was the first time. The second time was when I mistakenly tried to hurt Peaches. Unbeknownst to me, since I had never written a pet companion animal into a story, I didn't realize the backlash that was headed my way when I tried to, bring harm onto Peaches. I almost got some harm visited upon myself. So I learned really fast, you never hurt the dog. Or cat, for that matter. So, but I learned really quick that's not a good idea. Don't do that. So, but I count on the mob. I mean, for many things, obviously, I count on the mob to keep the story straight. Not that I don't do it myself. I always try to make sure that I keep the story, all the lines, the threads, straight. But I count on the mob to kind of point things out when things may seem a little off. Barring other things like, so it falls into different groups, right? There's the subjective part where, like, Davina can't stand Chi. I totally respect that, but I can't change who Chi is, right? And I don't think Davina would want me to change Chi. But she's welcome to not like Chi, and that's okay. Or like Jessica was the way Jessica was in the previous book. Well, I want to say Walking the Razor again, right? Mm-hmm. So Jessica and Walking the Razor was irritating for some and infuriating for others. And so, and I always welcome when any of you tell me how you feel about the book. Telling me how you feel is very different from, you need to change this because it's not working, which readers have told me that, and in many cases they're right. This doesn't work, or it needs some tweaking or something like that. So I count the mob to be always honest and straightforward, and as objective as they can be, with the realization that reading a book art is subjective in its core. So I always take it with a grain of salt. I also count on the mob, those who do the art, to kind of be brutal in the shreds. So I always say, hey, just put the notes that you're going to put in and don't worry about it. Because I always read the notes. And if it works for the story, I'll change it. And if it doesn't work, I won't change it. I reserve ultimate veto power. But I do listen to the mob in the sense of, the goal is to make the story better. And so that's our common goal. We work towards that. And I haven't, in all the years we've been doing this, and it's been quite a few now, Monty and Strong was published, I believe, in 2016, the first one. So we're at 4 years now, Monty and Strong. I think it's 2017. So we're going on our 4th year. So, man, my hands look so big. Jeez. So, I count on you guys for that. I count on you guys to like always be straight with me. I don't ever want you as readers to be like, oh my God, he's just so great that the land he steps on is sacred. That would be the start of a problem. 1, because I don't believe the hype. And 2, it means you can't be objective anymore. If I can do no wrong, that's a problem. Welcome, Davina. We were just talking about you and your fantastic relationship with Chi and how much you care and, think about her. Yeah, that's it. So, and I've said this to Chris a few times and a few of the mods, like, I don't ever want, if you guys ever catch me believing the hype, falling into that pattern of thinking and speaking where I'm no longer being authentic because I can do no wrong, that's a problem, and I want you to call me out on it. I want you to be straight with me so that I stay true to the integrity of who I am as an author and as a person. So that's key. I don't ever want to get into that frame of mind where, you have success and all of a sudden you forget what it was like when no one knew who you were. And that's important. And it keeps you grounded. I always want to stay grounded. And I know the mob will do their best to keep me grounded. So that's key. But I'm always wary of that, because if you remain in an echo chamber, it's very, I've seen it happen, put it that way. I've seen it happen, and it's scary and it's sad, So I don't ever want to fall for the hype. Don't ever let me fall for the hype, guys. Yeah, see, like Davina says, even when I think Jessica needs killing, I'll tell you. And I welcome that. I want to hear your real opinions. I don't want to hear what you think you want me to hear. I want to hear how you feel, what you think, things like that, But if the ground I step on becomes holy, you can bottle grains of it. So, yes, doll, you can sell them on ZAZZLE. Yes, awesome. Yeah, I know I can trust you guys for that. And I always try to stay humble. And I've told Chris this, but this is an old saying, is one that I learned back when I was more in the business world, is take all the blame and share all the credit, which is why you'll always see me in the mob and in my life. I always try to give kudos where they're due. So, or at least promote, like you'll see me promote other authors, which I've been told doesn't happen in many reader groups. I don't know why, but because we're all readers. But I'll promote other authors because when I started, no one was promoting me. I didn't have a platform. I didn't have anyone to promote me, with the exception of like John, who really stood in the gap for me and was like, hey, come on, you got to do this, you got to do this. And he kind of pushed me towards where I needed to be. So I'm always grateful to John Logson and his wife, Lorelai, was my first, after Dolly, she was my first editor that wasn't related to me. So they really pushed me to kind of like, this is what you need to do, right? So, but I always make it a point to take the blame. If something goes wrong, I'll be the first to say, okay, it's on me, and share the credit. So let other people, like, people ask me all the time, authors ask me all the time, where'd you get that cover? Oh my God, it's so great. The next word out of my mouth is Deranged Doctor Design, because they were the ones who started listening to my ideas. And in the beginning, I gave them a real hard time because like, this has to be right. And if you look at the covers of Tomb Yards and Butterflies, right, which is the first, I want to say the first Monty Strong, but even though No Gotta Safe is originally like the prequel. But if you look at Tomb Yards and Butterflies, and then you look at the books, the covers now, you could see the progression of how they've improved. Because over time, I was telling, okay, you got to tweak this, you got to change this, and we went through many iterations of covers sometimes because they didn't get it just right. Now, people see my covers and they go, wow, your covers look so great. I can't take the credit for that. I may give them an idea, but I can't take the credit. I can't say, well, yeah, it's my cover, I did it. No, they do it. I just put my name. They put my name on the cover, but it's their cover, and they do great work. Now, Chris, we understand sometimes technomancy can be a fickle thing, so we get it. It's okay. Yeah, well, Davina, it's still the same thing. You take all the blame, and you give away the credit. It's still like parenting. It's just that parenting is, as they say, thankless. So we try to add a little bit of thanks in there. You're still giving away the credit, but you don't get any as a parent. A lot of times, I don't think it happens, but you don't do it for the credit, right? So, you got to work on your casting, Chris. Definitely, you need an internet spell or something like that. So, see, I didn't on the cover. So Heather's asking, she's wondering if Monty has a slight smile on his face on the cover of the sticker. Monty never really smiles in any of the covers. But I didn't really like Chi on that cover, even though she's kind of done in this kabuki type makeup. The version of Chi that I like is the one that's in the Rule of the Council series. That looks more like Chi to me. Or the ones that Mona Findon did. That looks more like Chi. The way I imagine Chi to be. So, hello Rihanna, welcome. Yeah, so I try to keep it real especially with the mob. Because you guys have been with me from the beginning. And we try to keep it honest between us always. So yeah. And there have been moments where the mods have stepped in and saved me from doing something immensely dumb. Which we will not mention. And that's why the mods are the mods. Because they keep the space safe. But they have walked me back from the edge a few times. So it does happen. Let's see. I don't think you can fix it with just a look, Davina. I think it's maybe a look and like maybe a tap on the side. That's the way we used to fix TVs in the past. So, yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. So, Davina, that's a great observation. Ayrton admitted yesterday that I was right about something and said he wished he hadn't argued with me. Of course, it didn't stop him from arguing again today. And this is part of something we need to come to grips with as parents, that when your children push back against you, it's not so much that they're pushing back directly against you, but it's more a matter of expressing who they are as individuals. And many times we're focused on the immediate thing that needs to get done right this moment. And they're focused on, this is who I am as a person. And sometimes they don't align, those 2 points of view. And that's usually where the friction comes from. So it's just a matter of, and then he will argue with you today about something completely unrelated. That's what we do as kids. I didn't get that until I became a parent. That's the way it is. So you kind of see that when you're a child and you're in your teens, but as you get older, you don't really comprehend that until you have your own kids. And then you realize, I was a real pain in the ass to my parents. So it's karma also. She comes around and gives you a dose of who you were. That's the generational curse of parents. It's like, I remember my mom saying that. It's like, every parent at some point tells their child, I hope you have children just like you. And that generational curse, let me tell you, without fail, at some point, if you have kids, one of them is going to be just like you. And so you've brought it upon yourself. Chris, if the technomancy is on your end, you need a new spell, something to cast, a rune, some finger wiggles, something, and it'll happen. Trust me, it will. So, no, you should have got it in writing, Davina, not just have him say it. So if Ayrton said that you were right, you should have said, okay, here's a piece of paper, here's a pencil, and I just want you to write that out. And then, whenever he does something, you just point to, see, remember that time when you said, yes, let's refer back to that. I don't know if they're a curse, but boy, they are vivid reminders of, like, some of the things I did as a kid, wow, stagger the imagination. Some of the things my mom never found out, wow. But I think kids are just a reminder to us of, do you remember when you were that age? What a PITA you were? So, yeah. And so it just brings it back to, so we don't want to always lose patience with them, even though we do, because sometimes I just want to go like, just do it because I told you to do it. And it's like, but why? You know, and then I get a whole dissertation sometimes. Like, no, just do it. And yeah, I get that. So, yeah, Mark, see, there you go. Your youngest says it's like that. And so, out of my tribe of 7, I'm sure I have a few that, who do you think is closest to me?
No, I'm not telling.
Someone is pleading the 5th and not saying anything. Dan, Mr. Awesome Fong, welcome. Oh man, see, Chris, exactly. That's exactly. My daughter moved out at 18 because Sandy said there's only room for one bitch in this house, and you are not it. That's a diplomatic way of saying you and I can't be together. It's not going to work. I like that, Davina. Someone once told me I wasn't annoying. I made them put that in writing. Right, because it's not annoying to make them put that in writing at all. See? Yeah, because I said so see, I've made it a science now. So now I don't even need to say because I said so. I have the because I said so look. So when they start getting too what I want to call judicial, and we enter the courtroom and they start presenting arguments, I just give them the look and things get done. See? And it's the because I said so look. But I remember being like that with my mom and questioning everything but why? Why do I have to do this? And it's like, just get it done now. And so it brings back memories. Yeah, certainly. So this weekend, for Film Friday, I'm anticipating doing Red. I kind of have to vet it first to make sure it's okay for kids. I think there might be a little bit of violence in there, but overall, I think it's okay. So I want to kind of do Red and Red 2, kind of like a Red marathon. But you guys gave me some great ideas for Film Friday, and there's so many great series and some martial arts that the kids haven't seen yet that I want them to see. But every time I want them to see the movies that I've seen, they go, "Oh my God, that's so old." Like when I did that with Tombstone, one of the greatest westerns of all time.
I think at some point it wasn't the fact that it was old, but the fact that, they were spurting blood every 5 seconds.
That's a lot of violence. Yeah, there's a lot of violence in Red, but I think it depends. Maybe I could cover the violence. Like, okay, don't look, But Malkovich steals both movies. He steals Red and Red 2. So Tombstone had wasn't that much violence. Tombstone, was it bloody?
Yeah.
Was Tombstone really bloody? I don't remember it.
Yeah, it was. I literally left because there's too much shooting.
Yes, the youngest, Zoya, was saying, I left because there was too much shooting. I'm like, it's a Western. What do you think is going to happen in a Western? Except for Unforgiven. Unforgiven was pretty awesome, and it didn't have a lot of violence. But it's too slow for the kids. They're not going to see it. What did hold on. I saw a thing from Chris. I just opened the microwave door and it started rotating on its own. So whatever's going on, I need to Faraday. Yes, you better start that Faraday. You need the whole house in a Faraday cage, for sure. Young Guns is a classic. I kind of like that. Yeah, I'll make you famous. I remember that line. Let's see. Davina says we use a reward-based system using marbles in a similar way to Hogwarts or house points. It means I get Ayrton to do stuff so he doesn't lose his marbles, instead of him telling him to do stuff so you don't lose yours. That's a good one. I like that. Which original remake you're referring to, Tina? Just so cool. I like hanging out with you guys. I really do. Yes, Chris, wiggle your fingers, but not too much. Now you're getting, see, if you're making the microwave turn on with the door open, you've used too much technomancy in the wrong direction. Redirect it to the computer. Okay, so that's an interesting idea. You know how Jim Butcher has that whole wizards can't be around technology? I was thinking of doing something like that in Monty and Strong. Not with Monty, obviously, because he's a mage, but like maybe bringing a wizard in that short circuits everything. Maybe parts
Bangers and mash?
Bangers. Yeah, I was thinking maybe bangers and mash. So maybe having like bangers and mash. Oh, I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up? Hello. So it was looking a little fuzzy there for a moment. Yeah. Can you guys hear me now? Now I sound like a Sprint commercial. Can you hear me? Let me know how the reception goes. Can you hear me? Awesome. So I was thinking of having a wizard come into Monty and Strong, maybe Bangers and Mash, where he has that effect where the wizardry impacts electronics. And so, you know how in Dresden he can't touch anything that's too high tech because after a while he fries it. So have Bangers and Mash do something like that, where they totally fry like electronic circuits if they're in proximity or if they start using it. So I think that'll work. I think I'm going to try that. And so it adds more argument. Yeah, Chris, it adds more to the argument of wizard versus mage. So I can just hear Monty's condescending voice. See, wizard can't even use technology. It just proves how inferior that expression of magic use is. Things like that, you know? Something that would just keep fueling that whole wizard versus mage thing. So we'll see. But I think that's a great idea. I think I'll bring that in. Oh, I'm glad I'm back to normal. Excellent. So let me know your thoughts on that. But I think that'd be great to try bringing that in. I don't want to. Obviously, I don't want to mimic Dresden too much because, you know, it's Dresden. But I want to kind of bring that feel of this is a wizard and this is what happens when wizards start using tech. You know. Oh, the really old. Black, my kids are not going to watch, Tina, my kids are not going to watch really old black and white westerns. They barely got through Tombstone. And that has like, I'm Your Huckleberry in it. It's like awesome. So, yeah. Hello, Mandy. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Or unless that, oh my God, it was horrible. Let's see. Correctly channeling or containment energy would preclude the impact on tech, surely. It would. But what the whole purpose of wizards needing a focus is because they're channeling and containing it through the focus. So I'm sure there's some bleeding out of that energy, which affects the tech. So it can be explained pretty simply. Whereas a mage is the focus. So there's no bleeding of energy. So yeah. Well, I love Dresden, so I just don't want it to be too close to Dresden because then I would get a lot of angry Jim Butcher fans. So yeah. Oh yeah, something like that would be awesome, Audrey. Audrey says maybe a sick wizard, every time he sneezes, he turns tech off. That would be fantastic. What was Rincewind doing? How did Rincewind? Because Rincewind in Terry Pratchett, he wasn't a very good wizard. But what did he do?
Everything.
He just messed up everything. Like every spell he cast was a disaster, right? So something like that. I don't want to just make it a sick wizard. I want to make it a wizard who's just incompetent and has tech problems. So I think that would be perfect for Bangers and Mash. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be perfect. So yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Mandy. Awesome. Yeah, that's slow for the mob, reading it in one day. I'm always awed by the fact that I put the book out, right? Like it's live, not the art, because the art isn't human. They read it in like, it's crazy how fast they read. But like it'll go live on Amazon. And maybe an hour or two later, I've got readers saying, okay, so when's the next one coming out? Like it just went live. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, I already read it. Like, okay then. I need to clone myself and write faster. Sure. So yeah. Oh yes, Wendy. That's right. There was an aunt from Bewitched that was just horrible at casting. This is horrible. So, in The Last Continent, the librarian gets sick and changes shape. Oh, yeah, I remember that. So, something like that, but just something that, or maybe like around Monty throws off all his casting, his runic gestures, just messes with everything. I think that would be fun. Yeah. On Clara, yes. And she would cast a spell, but it would never quite be what it's supposed to be. Yes. Oh yeah, that's why I do push other authors. I think you. So okay. I've been asked this a few times, and it's been asked even lately why I promote other authors. And so I'll give you my take now. I'm not in competition with other authors. And there are plenty of readers for all of us. I mean, really, I don't think there's any one author that could exhaust any body of readers on this planet. No one can write that fast. So, it's just that I think other authors should be celebrated too. If they're writing well, they should be celebrated. If they're not writing well, they should be helped. It's that simple. Let's see. Davina says, rinse when spells don't go weird. They just do nothing. Right. Except the one from the Octavo. But that was special. Or occasionally when there's loads of background magic and something. Yeah, it's always like a random thing with Winston. It just does, nothing happens. Even though he makes a lot of fanfare and then nothing happens. So, yeah. Yes, she just lost her mind after a while, Wendy, for sure. But I love the way she would cast things and it was always the wrong thing. So, yeah. I always try, so Joy, I always try to, because one, I was helped when no one knew who Orlando Sanchez was. And who was it that asked? I think it was Ray or Ava said, why aren't you famous? I'm not famous. Oh, but you read all these books. I said, yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm famous. So, but he says, people know you. Yes, but back when no one knew me, I had people who helped me. And I always remember that. You always should remember that people helped you when no one knew who you were. So, and always reach back and help other people to do that. So it's important. And I try to appreciate it because I'm a reader. Before I'm a writer, I'm a reader. And if I find something I really enjoy, I'm going to say, guys, like when you see a movie that's awesome, say, hey, you got to go watch this. The same thing with a book. You got to go read this. It's awesome. Yeah, Mandy, a day with some interruptions is slow compared to the mob, but the mob is not normal. The mob, they're defined, many of the readers in the mob are defined as whale readers, which means that they read a lot, like a whale, so much, and fast. So I could never keep up the pace fast enough to keep up with the mob. So that's the way it is. Right, Malcolm, he's a wizard. Exactly. It's true, not just a regular wizard. Exactly, Chris. A rising tide lifts all. And so I try to really embody that. I learned that that's key. And not just in authorship, but in life. But more in this industry, we want to say, or in this world of being an author. It's really small. All the authors know the other authors. Like we all kind of know each other or have heard of each other. And so the word gets around of who is who and who behaves like what. So better to have a positive way of being around people than to be spoken about negatively. Yeah, you have to. So, yeah. Okay, so what happened, Linda, there is that I'm from the era of where I got to follow series and I had to wait 1 year between books. So I don't want my readers to ever have to go through that, waiting a year. Davina says, do you actually want to be famous? No, I'm as famous as I need to be right now, which is why I'm an author and not a movie star. I don't need to. I don't want to be, and I don't need to be. I like being able to walk outside in perfect anonymity, like no one knows who I am. That's great. That's fantastic. And like Chris says, fame is overrated. Yeah. So I don't need to be famous. I'm famous to the people that matters, which is my family. That's it. I'm famous in the mob, I guess. It never, listen, I live in New York, so fame for me is something that's really not a big deal. I've seen these huge stars. I've walked down the street and seen stars on the street, stars, movie actors, and in New York, we're like, hey, yeah, you know, what's up? How are you doing? And we keep going. It's not a big deal. We don't get starstruck. I've never been starstruck. So yeah, thank you, Davina, for reading thorough, and obviously for adding all those commas where they need to go. You know, you, Dolly, there's a few of you that are just like, whoa, scary on the things that you catch. So yeah. Oh, we're gonna do a bad sci flick. Yes. What is it? No, not a bad sci flick. The other one with Vin Daloo.
Oh, that one.
I'm gonna do an action movie.
There was
with Vin.
The sci-fi flicks.
Wait. Let me clarify, Vin Daloo. So back when Vin Diesel was big, everyone said that I looked like Vin Diesel. There's no way he could look this awesome. Anyway, but I was gonna create an alternate character called Vin Daloo, which is also an Indian. Isn't that an Indian platter? Vin Daloo. So his name was going to be Vin Daloo, huh?
The cab driver.
Yeah, the cab driver. Vin Daloo. And we had this whole series of like funny adventures with Vin Daloo. But it never happened. But that's, see, I would be famous for something like that, for sure. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Linda says, that's what happened with the Alex Vera series. I'm getting to the end of already published books and I'll have to wait. Yeah, see, I can't. I'm sorry. One, because I have to write, so I don't have the time to read so much in terms of waiting a year for a book. By the time the book comes out, I will have moved on to so many different projects in the midst of that I'll forget. So I have to set an alert of some kind, which is why I follow certain authors on Amazon. So when they release a book, I get a notification. But two, as a reader, I wouldn't want to have to wait a year to find out what happens. It's just mean. It's hard as a reader to wait that long. And I guess that's part of the product of the time. You know, like if you go on Netflix, you get a whole season now, right? And you get the entire season at a time. So, or you can wait for the whole season, but then you get the entire season. You don't have to, it's not like when we were growing up, you watch one episode this week, and you have to wait a week for the next episode and a week for the next episode. Now you can get the whole thing. So it's a lot of binge watching. Binge reading is the same thing. Yes, it's Indian curry, and it's really hot. So that was going to be the name of the character, because he's really hot. Vin Daloo. He was a really hot guy. So, yeah, Chris, another author asked me recently, her name is Sarah. I gotta promote her book, because she's releasing a book soon, Epic Fantasy, which is a genre I'm not jumping into when the books are like 150,000 words long. But she asked me, how do you keep the story going for so long? Like, she can't get past 5 books, right? Her series are usually 5 books long. And I'm of the same opinion in terms of series don't need to be that long. But with Monty and Strong, the stories just keep coming. And so, and I created the world of Monty and Strong to be evergreen. So it doesn't have a finish. It just keeps going. They keep going through situations. You know, it's just the way it is. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, the feed is going so quick. Have you ever found that you read like, oh yeah, I'm going to try and read it online because I'm on the phone. Mm-hmm. Have you ever found that you read like the first 3 books, loved it, forgot about it to book 8? Yes. And that's what happened to me with Sepia Blue. So I wrote the first 3 books, stopped that, and moved to Monty and Strong. Here we are 13 books later, and I'm going back to Sepia Blue, book 4. And so I had to read book 3 to make sure the story was the way it needed to be. So, yeah. Right, WandaVision is going to be 1 episode a week. They're going back to that old format. We'll see what happens. I haven't seen the first episode yet. So we'll see what happens. You made it, Craig El Dragon. Zimic. Welcome. You made it. Yeah, we got like 20 minutes, I want to say 20 minutes. Maybe we should start hitting questions. Let's hit questions. Shall we? Okay, we're going to jump into the questions. If you have a question, this is the time to ask. So, yes, Mandy, I am as excited as you are for Sepia Blue. I'm excited for every book that comes out. And like I've always said, this is true. It's authentic. Every time a book gets #1 bestseller, a #1 new release, you got to see. I get excited. I start sending everybody like these text messages. Look, it hit #1. It hit #1. Because I get excited. For me, it's every time. I send Dolly. The first one that gets a notification is Dolly. Like, she's like, Yeah, that's awesome. But I can almost hear like, yeah, what did you expect kind of thing, you know? But I always get excited. It's always the first time for me. All right, questions. But it's always great that I have someone to send those notifications to. All right, what is my favorite breakfast? What is my favorite breakfast? Oh, Polanco's. All right, so Polanco's is a place near here. Hello, Mary, welcome. Polanco's is a place near here that makes what's a traditional Dominican from the Caribbean islands, or Dominican Republic, a traditional Dominican breakfast, which is, I'm going to say it in Spanish and I'll translate it for you. It's plátanos maduros con salchichón y huevos revueltos, right? Which is mashed plantains, right? You boil them, you put olive oil, some salt, and you mash them together like mashed potatoes. So that's called mango, like mango, but with a U, right? And then you get, this is funny, you get like peaches, sausage, but the sausage is like this big, and they cut them into slices. And so the slices are like this big. And you get like 4 of those slices, and it's put next to the mashed plantains, and then you get scrambled eggs with it. And sometimes you get another kind of sausage, which is called longaniza. It's really salty, but it's really good. And that one you gotta eat in small bite sizes, because it's so good. But you'll be drinking. It's really salty, and that's my favorite breakfast that I haven't been able to have since March of last year. Okay, Dolly gets a question. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Oceanographer.
Dolly wanted to be the female Jacques Cousteau. She wanted to be...
Earl.
Huh?
Sylvia Earle.
Sylvia Earle.
We don't need a female Jacques Cousteau.
That's right. She doesn't need a female Jacques Cousteau. She's got Sylvia Earle. So she wanted to be an oceanographer when she grew up. And she loves the ocean and the water. Ayrton says to tell you that he's scared of writing paragraphs because he doesn't know how many sentences to do. Tell him to write as many sentences as he feels right. 1, 2, 3. Tell him to start with 1 paragraph and to go from there. And then he can make it 2 paragraphs, and then make it 3 paragraphs. So whatever he feels comfortable with in the beginning. Sometimes my paragraphs are 1 sentence long. Sometimes they're just a few words long. So tell him not to don't feel constrained by rules. Just to write what he wants to write. Okay? Okay, next question. So Dolly wanted to be an oceanographer, and she still loves the sea, the ocean, the water. She's the one who really emphasized that all 3 of the little ones needed to know how to swim, and she made it a point to make sure they all know how to swim, and they all know how to swim. Now they dive into pools 10 feet deep, and I'm like, where are they? And they can go all the way to the bottom and come all the way back up, no issue. And they can go across an Olympic pool. So yeah, they know how to swim now. But that was Dolly, because she really loves the water and the ocean. Okay, Orlando, which of your characters by the way, these are Audrey, the Question Queen's questions. So which of your characters could be your best friend? Wow. My best friend? Jeez. The cliche answer would be Peaches, obviously. But I have so many characters. I think I want to be able to say that I think I could be friends with all of them. I say the majority of my characters I think I could be friends with. Or I don't know about best friend. Jeez, best friend would be tough. Who would be my best friend in all the characters that I've written? That's a tough one. Let me give that some thought, Audrey, and I promise to answer it for sure. All right, Federica de Dominicis. I hope I'm saying that your last name right, Federica. If you were in your books world, what kind of character would you be? How would you write yourself? I'd be a mage. Hello? What kind of question is that, Federica? If I were a mage, I would be Iker. Because Iker is awesome. You just don't know it yet. But if I were a mage, that's who I would be. One of the few characters that stood up to Chi and limped away. I was going to say walked away, but he didn't exactly walk away. He limped away. Okay, next question from Scarlett, who's new to the group. She says, okay, I'm new to the group, and I have read the M&S books. However, in one book, it seems Simon did not know he was marked by Chi. He actually seemed upset. Did I miss a part in another book? How did she mark him? And just what is the relationship between them? Please tell me. Wow, Scarlett, that's like 4 or 5 questions. Okay. Can't tell you how she marked him, but she did. You didn't miss it because it wasn't overt. It was when she gave him Ebon Soul that was part of the marking. Ken explains it to him. When he accepted the sword from Chi, that was part of the marking of him. What's the relationship between them? Complicated. Sorry, it's a very author answer, but that's just what it is. I'm sorry. If you need to know more, you can always PM me. I may answer or may not. It's no guarantee, but maybe. Keep reading. Read the other side stories, and you'll actually get to see more of Simon. And I'm gonna go into that a little bit more in Requiem too. Okay. Question from Tina Rose Johnson. I can see Simon leaking magic, but is he? No, he's not leaking magic. So remember, if you remember the explanation that Ray gave him where mages are like buckets and they contain magic, Simon has to use the ambient magic around him. So he can't leak magic. So there you go. Question from Dan Fong. Staying with food. Yes, Dan, because Fong's is an awesome place to be at. As you're a New Yorker, what's your favorite pizza joint? So we have a few, but we have a place called Bruno's, which we used to go to all the time pre-COVID. We don't go there as much now. Closer to us, because Bruno's was a little far away, we have a place called Pizza Sam, which is like the neighborhood pizzeria. You go there, you know everybody knows you. I grew up going to that place, so for me, that's one of the best pizzas locally. In Manhattan, Ray's Pizzas is still one of the best tasting pizzas. So there you go. You got Bruno's, which is a local place. Pizza Sam, which is also local, really local. And Ray's Pizza is a franchise, but they all taste the same and they're fantastic. So they have... Oh, Papa John's. Okay, Dolly and the kids like Papa John's. I'm like, Papa John's is okay. Papa John's for me is like, meh. It's okay. Let's see. I'm missing a few. So are we getting urgent books later? Oh, so he wrote some stories a while ago, but the more he learns, the more he worries about getting it wrong. He likes doing adaptations because he reads a story and says, I think this should have happened. Yeah, he can do fan fiction. So he can write fan fiction, and until he gets comfortable writing his own fiction, have him write there's a whole industry of this. Have him write established worlds. Like he can write Batman stories or Superman stories or Spider-Man stories or like X-Men stories. These things are established, so he already has a parameter to work with, and then he can go from there, and then eventually he can write his own characters and do his own thing. I noticed there was a Ronin in Sepia. Is this the Ronin as the operative? From Darren. Nope, different Ronin. So completely different Ronin, yeah. The only crossover between Sepia and the M&S world was recently, where Monty and Simon went into the park. That's the only one. Linda says John's on Bleecker Street is good too. Yeah, I've had most of the pizza on Bleecker Street because I used to play handball downtown in the Village. And so all the pizzerias around there I've eaten. Most New York pizza is awesome. So there's just a few standouts that are fantastic. Craig says, think of Simon like a washcloth. He can only be dipped into a river of magic around him. Exactly. He has to use the ambient energy around him. He's not a mage, as he has said, 5 billion times in Walking the Razor. He's not a mage, so he can't hold the magic in. But he can use the magic that's around him. So, and now that he's marked by Kali, that's going to change a little bit too. So, yeah. Right, Davina, he can write Transformer stories. That's a whole world for him to write. So he can create his little Transformers, and then he can write stories about those. And start small. Start with a little story, paragraph here, paragraph there, and build on it. Have them meet Optimus Prime. Have them meet Megatron, things like that. And then you can go from there. Or have, there are Transformers that are dinosaurs. He can mix the two worlds. So Dinobots, I believe that there were. So there were Transformers that changed into dinosaurs. And they were like construction dinosaurs or something like that. So yeah. So you find a world that you're already comfortable with. You write stories in that world, which is fanfic, which is what fan fiction is anyway. Someone made a lot of money doing that. Who was it? Who was the one that wrote
Shades of Grey?
Stephanie Gray?
Shades of Grey.
Oh yeah, Shades of Grey was fan fiction when it started. It was written on WhatsApp, Wattpad, something like that. But Shades of Grey started out as fanfic from Twilight, I believe. It was a fanfic of Twilight that the author took, tweaked it, but it was already an established world and made her own. I know there was some controversy about different people writing, but that's basically taking an established world, an established story, and making it fanfic. And then, now when you're doing it with known properties, like let's say I wanted to write a Batman story, I would have to be really careful about that because it's a known entity that's been around 75 years at this point, I want to say. So you have to be careful of that, And so if I wanted to write Batman fanfic, it would be like for the mob, or it would be like for me, just to kind of jump into that world and practice my writing. But it's not something that I would publish because then I would need DC's permission, because it's a known entity. It's a protected IP, I want to say, a protected media source, and it's one of the big money makers. So you touch something like Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman or any of the main tentpole characters and you don't have permission, prepare to get legal calls from DC, because that's what would happen, So if you're going to touch a character that is established in someone else's world, and this is why you want to be wary as an author about writing too close to other authors' work, like what I was talking about, having a wizard that has mishaps around tech, because it's really close to Dresden. You want to be careful, you want to be sensitive, and if you're really going to go that far, you want to contact the author in question and get permission to do so. Most authors are really cool about it. Like most authors will be like, hey, I want to write, if you approach an author and say, hey, I want to write a character that's kind of similar to yours but not exact, they would be like, go for it, just don't paint my characters in a negative light. And then you pretty much could, do it that way. Yeah, correct. There's a movie like that where it's an animated movie that Batman meets Sherlock Holmes. So Ayrton has a world of possibility and potential if he wants to write. He just doesn't have to be scared. He could do it. Just tell him to start slow and start little things. Yeah, don't be surprised. At 7, I know there are authors out there that are like 11, 12. So it's not that far away. Davina, just tell him to start where he is and tell him to write his stories. Right now, he's writing stories for himself. That's awesome. Dan, you have not mentioned Silk this week, so please get your your quota in. Silk is the man. Yeah, actually, when Silk... All right, I'm going to give something away here, okay? Silk ends up being part of the 10. There you go. So when he does make his appearance, it's because everything has hit the fan and you need to bring out the big guns. So Silk is actually part of the 10. That's going to be one of the major crossovers from that world into the Monty Strong world. Okay? There you go. Boom. Chris says, always ask permission. The worst that could happen is they say no. Exactly. Let's see. I haven't really encountered those situations where I've asked permission to utilize a character because I try to stay away from other authors' work. But the times that it has happened where someone asks me if they could introduce a character, it depends. We have to have a conversation about how they're going to use the characters, Most authors that I know are very cool about it. Some authors are very touchy about it. So it depends also on the author, because you're dealing with someone's work and in many cases their livelihoods. You have to be careful. Yeah, you could definitely be his proofreader, Davina. So yeah. Wendy asks, Dex isn't the biggest gun available. No, Dex is not the biggest gun available, but he is a really, really, really big gun that you do not want to cross. But what's coming for the Monty and Strong world is going to need the 10 in addition to Monty and Strong. And Dex is in there. Dex is in that group. But what's coming, it's like, and I say this repeatedly, it's very much like the Avengers. Each of the Avengers by themselves were powerhouses, right? But you needed a Thanos type villain to come in so that they had to all get together to face him, right? That's how strong Thanos was. What's coming from Monty Strong is going to require the 10, Dex, all the characters from all the series will be coming together in one, I want to say like one mini trilogy to deal with that threat. That's as much as I could say right now because that's so many books ahead. But yeah. So yeah, hello Anne. Hey. Yes, so that's a mic drop for you, Dan. That's awesome. Awesomeness. Oh, and that trailer you released today, Boss Level, that was ridiculously cool. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, that was fantastic. If you haven't seen the trailer for Boss Level, Dan put it in the mob. Go check it out. It's like Groundhog Day meets the Terminator. It's fantastic. So check it out. Mel Gibbs is in it. Actually, Mel's kind of having a comeback, which is pretty good. Mel Gibson's in it. Frank Grillo or Grillo, depending on how you want to say it. I'm glad he's getting this lead. So he's doing really well in movies now. He was in the Avengers. He was in a few other. He's in a lot of B movies as either the friend or the teacher. But it's good that he's getting like lead parts. Yeah. So Malcolm says, does Dex make it the 11? No, he does. It's always going to be the 10. He's just going to be an add-on to the 10 because there are going to be other add-ons. Monty and Strong will be there. Peaches, of course. Dex. Let's see. There's a few others from the other series that will be there. Yes. Yeah, that boss level dying over and over and over every day, every single day, that looked painful. But it looks like a fun movie. So. Right, Tina. That's after book 21, Tina. So we're on book 13, and you gotta wait to book 21 before we get to that part. So, and like Dolly says, Dex is the +1. Actually, probably the Morrigan is the +1. So, and she'll be part of that too. I mean, you're gonna need all the heavy hitters. Are we gonna get a new Sheepdog book? Yes, Sheepdog is slated for. Oh my God. So okay, wait. Honestly, no joke. Look. So you see this? These are all the books I have to write. These are all the series I have to write. Wait, I'm not done. Then this. Wait. And then this. And this page alone is just Monty and Strong. So, I have to sit down with Dolly, calendar that list, and kind of figure out where everything's. Yes, but there's more Sheepdog to come because Sheepdog was fun. Let's see. Yes. Some of the 10 prefer to remain hidden. Some of the 10 aren't even in the regular timeline for Monty and Strong. For reasons that will be explained later on. Does Dex make it the 11? Or they would kick someone out to make room, like there could only be 10? No. It's always the 10 plus. Dex doesn't seem like a joiner. He's not a joiner per se. But when it comes to a larger threat, like you saw him walking the razor, what he did to help Monty, he'll do something like that. It is a 10 that stood apart from the other mage groups and the other singles that are too powerful to control. Exactly. That's basically the way it is, the way Craig just described it. It's 10. These are like a rogue 10, so they don't fit in anywhere. And then you've got single powerful entities that are almost as strong or stronger. So yeah, there's a lot to write. So I'm excited too, Mandy, and I have to write it. So, sidestep the timeline. No, I can't sidestep the timeline because the timeline is what leads up to that. And when it happens, you're going to be like, oh my God, how did I not see that? Trust me. Nana will definitely be there. Did you not see Nana in, I want to say Silver Cloud's Dirty Sky. I want to say Silver Cloud's Dirty Sky. That's where Nana appeared. Yeah, because Homecoming, Monty goes back home. So Silver Cloud's Dirty Sky is when they're in London. Nana's kick-ass. Nana's also going to have her own series called Old Magic, which is pretty cool. It's Nana and Dex, which is going to be a lot of fun. But Nana is no joke. Nana, I wouldn't want to tangle with Nana at all. She's dangerous. She's up there. So, okay, wow, time, man, we're over time. Man, it goes by so fast. Yeah, so that Phoenix Fist, I know, right, Dan? I'm saying this like I wasn't the one that wrote it, but come on. That Phoenix Fist was no joke. It was awesome. Malcolm says, question regarding sideline, sidestepping reality. When M&S did the time warp, what happened to the reality they left behind? When did they do the time warp? Which one? Because they've been playing with time almost from the beginning. Does Jess survive to then? Like Jessica? If you mean Jessica, yes, she survives until then. Yeah. Jessica will improve. She's very rough right now. If one of the 10 died, would they be the 9 or they would find a replacement? Yes, they would be the 10 and they would find a replacement. But they don't really follow rules. So that's why it doesn't really matter for them. But they're always the 10. If you look in the hall of the 10 with the big X, they make sure it's 10. So yeah, they would find someone else. But it wouldn't be Dex. So we locked ourselves out last night. I had to break in. Here's your sign. Okay. I don't know exactly what that means, Chris, but I'm sure you can explain it. Okay. Wendy says, I'm kind of happy my first usual appointment had to cancel today. I'm glad you're here too, Wendy. I keep missing your Wednesday shows, but always know that your shows are welcome in the mob. And your show has a special place in the mob family and history because your show was one of the first shows I did and I was invited to. So always know that your shows, even though I'm not there, I'm always there in spirit, Wendy. And always feel free to promote your show and let us know what's happening. I will try to drop in. It's tough for me for my schedule sometimes. But thank you so much for keeping us up to date, you know? Let's see. Not so much time. They did a reality to okay. That they needed to do that because they needed to split from so it wasn't a big shift, Malcolm. It was just a time warp. It was just a step to the left, a jump to the right. It wasn't that much. So they really didn't, they just left a few things from the previous timeline in the previous timeline. But it doesn't react to their reality so much. It was just a shift that they needed to do. So, and you're very welcome, Wendy. Yeah. Yeah, we will, whenever you need to promote your show, let us know. We'll definitely have your back and back you up. What is this? What? Oh. Who are my favorite motivational... So Dolly asks, who are my favorite motivational speakers? Okay, so I have a few. And it depends on the context of what I'm doing. So when I'm doing my weighted walks in the morning, the days that I train, it's Jocko Willink, who was an ex-Navy SEAL, and David Goggins, who was also an ex-Navy SEAL. I take David and Jocko with me on every walk, and they basically go, you're going to do this, or you're going to die on the way. And so that's the kind of mentality they have, because they were both Navy SEALs. But they speak in a way that really gets you going. So when I'm walking and I have 2 miles to do, and I've got heavy weight with me, all I'm thinking about, I got to take the next step. I got to take the next step. I got to take the next step. And they're right there. It's as if they're next to me, one on each side, saying, you got this. Let's go. Walk, walk, walk. Other times, let's see. Oh no, I lost my questions. Okay. Well, I don't think there are any more questions. And other times, I think that was the last question. Other times, it depends on what I'm listening to in terms of motivation. So, I'll listen to... Who? I'll listen to Ed Milet. I do listen to Ed Milet. I've listened to Tony Robbins. I've listened to Jim Rohn. I've listened to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've listened to, I mean, you name them. Les Brown, Eric Thomas. I've listened to so many different ones because it all depends on what I'm doing at the moment. So they're not specific to any one thing. For me, it's that it has a positive message and one that I could build upon. It's not about hype. It's not about selling anything. It's about improving as a person, improving as a human. And those are the kind of motivational speakers that I listen to. So there's so many, but for my training, I'll listen to Jocko and David because they've lived it, and so I know that what the words that they're speaking are coming from experience, from things that they've gone through. It's considered that Navy SEAL training is one of the hardest trainings in the world. I'm sure there are other comparable trainings in other countries. So when you say I was a Navy SEAL and this is what we went through, there's a certain weight to those words because okay, this guy, he lived through hell and back. Dan says, your fight scenes are so good, like the one with the Phoenix Fist. They take you right off the page like you were there, or at least they do for me. Do you actually play them out as you write? Okay, it's hard to play out a Phoenix Fist because she has to go into the air and come down. But sometimes Dolly will see me like moving my arms but most of them is in my, most of the fight scenes are in my head. But also understand there's a lot of years of martial arts in my brain. So I can picture the choreography of a fight scene without having to act out the fight. The only time I'll do an actual mental kind of physical thing is when I want to emphasize one side over the other side. But sometimes Dolly will see me waving my arms and be like, what the hell's going on? So I'll be doing a fight scene. Now, if I have to use a weapon, depends on the weapon, sometimes I'll need to go get a sword or something and then actually use the weapon just to see how it would work with a thrust or a slash, or, you know, how you would dodge something, how you would sidestep something. So yeah. All right, guys. Yes, Davina nailed it. I'm actually amazed. I throw fireballs and to see how far they can travel before dissipating. I suggest the Happiness Project for your self-improvement. I'll look it up. I've heard of the Happiness Project, Tina. Thank you. I'll definitely check it out. Yes, there are a few groups like that, but I would definitely look it out. I would definitely check it out. All right, guys. I don't want to go. Zoya. Where is she? We can't leave without our greeter / person who says goodbye. Thank you all for being here today. You guys are so awesome. I mean, I can't do this without you. And it always feels like I have too much time and too little to say, and then that's at the beginning, and at the end is too little time and so much more to say. So I know once we do Peaches Con, it's going to be a glorious conference that we're just going to hang out and just, I don't know how we're going to do it, how we're going to contain all those people. It's going to be amazing. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Zoya's going to say goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good weekend.
Peace out. Have a good weekend.
And peace out. So that's what she said. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. It's awesome. Listen, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. Don't forget, okay? Don't get complacent. Let's stay as safe as we can. Practice your social distance. Wear your mask. Really take care of yourself, okay? And above all, remember, be uncommon. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.